Pitbull University, the GPS of the American Pitbull Terrier, the ultimate video that you must know when making a decision about an American Pitbull Terrier. Whether you need to learn the truth, whether you have curiosity to learn the facts about the American Pitbull Terrier, or whether you're looking to buy a dog, or whether you own one and you want to know if your dog really is a real American Pitbull Terrier, or even if it's just an American Pitbull Terrier of quality. In whichever event it might be, I'll give you this advice. If you already have one, give them the best love and care possible. It's your pet. Love him to death. Now, this GPS video, and I gave the name GPS, as today we know what a GPS is. The GPS will be a machine that will take you on your telephone, in your car. It'll give you direct directions from where you are right now to the point where you want to get to. If you're looking for a common dog, I can't help you with that, because all my life I specialize in only the best and absolutely with excellence, the very best American Pitbull Terriers in the world. The first thing you need to know about American Pitbull Terriers is that the information is only worth anything when it's coming from someone that actually had the price, had the merits, and when I say the price, is the price to own the information and have experience and have the merits to talk about those. If you want to know my merits, I'm going to give you my number here. My WhatsApp is +1 806 500 5552, and you can verify who I am and why I am the person that I say I am. You can always compare me to any breeder or anyone else that's giving you any type of information. I will help you for free so you can make a decision that'll make you happy. I do specialize on only excellence, so I wouldn't be able to help you making a decision that's less than excellent. So let me just tell you this. A GPS will take you to a particular decision. But in reality today, with all the information on the internet, it'll be very difficult for you to actually have a direct location of where you're going to go. Because even if you mention the name American Pitbull Terrier today, talking to somebody, your telephone listens to you, and automatically it's going to send you a whole lot of videos and things from everybody saying, oh, I'm the best, I have this, I have that. But you always need to ask yourself a question. Why should I listen to this person? Everybody's going to tell you they have the best dogs. Everybody. I'm telling you, I have the best dogs. The difference is, everything I say, I can back it up, and I love it. That's the best part of it. I'm friends with the best book writers in the world, and they talk about my dogs, and they write about my dogs. Here's just one of the books. His name is Richard Stratton. He's going to be 90 years old in a few weeks, and he wrote 4 books about the American Pitbull Terrier, and he talks about my dogs. He actually calls one of my dogs, the Bagman, he calls him the modern champion of the whole family Renaults. He also calls him a candidate to be the best dog in the world. Just leave it just like that. My dogs are not giant pit bulls. If they are giants, my dogs will be the original giant pit bulls, because they come from Grand Champion Mayday, which was 80 pounds. This dog right here is about 76 pounds. Fat, he will be about 80 pounds. But that's actually out of the standard of the dog. The real standard of the dogs, or what is the average weight of an American Pitbull Terrier, is going to be about 45 pounds for a male to about 55, 60 pounds. Lean. But a lean dog at 60 pounds, a lean dog at 50 pounds, is going to be somewhere around 80. This dog right here, if he's fat, is probably going to be about 100. But 120, 150, there's no such a thing. But it's not because of the weight. They're not real pit bulls or giant pit bull because of the weight. First of all, giant sounds fancy, but let's find out if they are real pit bulls. And that is the key. Finding out what is a real pit bull. What makes it real? And if it's real, that means that there are other ones that are fake. And that is the part where you really need to have this compass to navigate. A compass is an instrument for you guys that are very young. It's an instrument that will tell you the north when you're in the ocean, or I was a scout and I was in the field in the mountains, and I use a compass to tell me my north, and I can use the map that I have with the location and find out all the different points, and I can build maps by just having something like that. I want to tell you this. The reason I make this video here is to help you navigate, because there's so much information out there that you need to navigate, and you're going to see all things. And so the first rule is find the person that actually knows what they're talking about. And everyone sounds like an expert at some points until you start to ask the really hard questions related to their own personal merits. And when I say the own personal merits is this, because you will fail as trying to buy a pit bull if you look at a puppy. What? That's correct. If you look at a puppy, you will fail. because they're all so cute. And when you buy them as puppies and you look at them as puppies, you'll be like, oh my God, this puppy's so cute. My girlfriend liked it. I want it blue. I want it red. Hold on one second. Did you said blue? Why, when I look at a litter of German Shepherds, the dogs, the parents are black and tan, and the puppies all look alike? How, when you breed a Pitbull, you get a blue one, a purple one, a pink one, all different colors, black one, brindle, reds? Why? Is that a real breed? Why the AKC don't consider the American Pitbull Terrier a real breed? And who really owns the American Pitbull Terrier? What it really is an American Pitbull Terrier? Should I look at Google? Nope. Google don't have the right information. And the thousands of videos on the internet will not have the right information either, because they copy themselves. One guy makes a video and the video becomes very popular, and maybe it's a stray lie out of ignorance, but YouTube has a lot of people watching. They notice that a lot of people was watching this video, and they say, we're going to monetize this video, although it's a lie, it's unverified information, and we're going to let the owner make a lot of money. So somebody else says, listen, got a lot of views, I'm going to copy the video. They change the pictures around, but the content is basically the same. So the same lie gets passed around all over the place. So who really has the truth? I come from the 1990s when it comes to the dogs. 30 years in the dogs. I have traveled the whole world. I give seminars in auditoriums of universities, and I have left people understanding what is the real American Pitbull Terrier. In 2014, I created a page. It's called TheRealPitbull.com. And the reason I call it TheRealPitbull.com, when the breed is actually called American Pitbull Terrier, is that most people actually call it Pitbulls. And they used to be called Pitbulls at one time, by the way. So most people, this is the name of the breed, American Pitbull Terriers. And some people will look and say, well, Chico is an expert. Why he calls it just Pitbulls? Well, most of the people don't know it is called American Pitbull Terrier. They call it Pitbulls. So if I put the cookies on the lower shelf, people are going to get attracted to see what is the real Pitbull. And they're going to find out through my page that they might not have a Pitbull. And for the guys that want to buy a dog in the future, they'll understand what is a real Pitbull. I only work with excellence, and I'm only looking for greatness. So by doing that, I'm only going to walk into one path, the path of excellence. I don't like good, because as Jim Collins says, good is the enemy of great. So I don't work with good. This channel and my whole operation is not about good. If I wanted to be good, I wouldn't invested 30 years in the breed. But the problem with good in the Pitbulls is that if the great-grandparents were also good, but the definition of good of that person back 3 or 4 generations of the dog was to have a dog that was aggressive towards people, as a guard dog or as a defensive dog, then we really have a problem. Because your puppy, as cute as it is, one day is going to be a big dog and maybe end up biting your child and end up biting somebody. The dogs are actually really great, the real American Pitbull Terriers. They're not supposed to be men biters. They're supposed to be nanny dogs. And they're supposed to defend your home, but they're supposed to have an instinct so great that they think about greatness. They think about protecting everything in the house. But if someone that you already know and someone that does not look like it's going to hurt you is coming in, they have the sense and automatically they let the grandmother in. You understand? And if you walk in a park with your daughter, with your kids, with your children, and other children are coming to play, they will be very nice and cool with the other children. But if all of a sudden they see some guy or some person that looks kind of funny and maybe troublemaker or maybe want to steal one of your children, this dog will give his life protecting your family. That is a real American Pitbull Terrier. As a matter of fact, you probably don't know that the United States of America, the founders of the United States back in the 1800s, and the builders of the United States, entrepreneurs, they wanted to have a dog that it was so great. They wanted to have a dog that represent them. And they look back at the dog that faced adversity, and it was the nanny dog. They were raised with those dogs, and these dogs used to be battle dogs. And they'll go to battle, come home, and sleep with them. And they were always nice, and they represent strength and novelty and courage and never give up. And the concept of the underdog and the concept of the top dog came directly out of the actions of those dogs. So automatically the American says, we need a dog. The Germans have so many dogs. The Russians have so many dogs, and we don't have a dog. And they say, that dog is going to be my great-grandparents' dogs when they came from Ireland. And that's called the pit dog. But we need to name them. But before than anything, they're our dogs. And we are a brand new nation. So we're going to call them American over anything. And they give them the name of American Pitbull Terriers with a lot of pride in their heart. That was the dog that represented them. It was a dog that was balanced. It will not get in trouble with nobody. It will never look for trouble, actually. But if trouble came looking for them, trouble will be smashed. Trouble will be handled. And that's really the spirit of the American Pitbull Terrier, when you know that. They're really great dogs, and they're really fantastic dogs, but they have been destroyed by breeders that have a lot of ignorance. I want you to know that these dogs back in the 1800s and the early 1900s, they were protected by the families that owned them, and they wouldn't sell them or breed them out to other people. They protect them as something very powerful from their great-grandparents. Somebody around the 1900s and the 1930s took some of those puppies and started selling them to everybody. And with the show, The Little Rascals, the puppies became everybody around the world, around the United States at the time, wanted to have a puppy. Why I need a Pitbull? I want something like Pit and the Little Rascals, a show that it was booming. And so they started selling dogs by the name of John P. Kobe. And everybody was very upset with John P. Kobe. And he started selling dogs. He became very famous for being a dog seller more than anything else. And he sold dogs for everybody. Those dogs, they diluted and became weaker and weaker by poor practices of development and the development of the dog and selections. So they didn't have the process that those men had to create the great dogs. And some people wanted to have a junkyard dog, and they had this junkyard dog attacking people, and so on and so forth. They get mixed. Now in South America and Mexico, all over the United States, you have some dogs, they call them blue pit bulls, are not real pit bulls. They have some giant pit bull on Netflix. That's not a real pit bull. And they destroy the name. There's a singer, I really like the guy. He's really smart, clever, tough, and very successful, and very smart. He took the name of something that was already successful, Pitbull, and he says, my name is Pitbull. I'm the singer because I'm tough, and everybody loves him. So it was an instant success. His determination, his love for greatness and never give up, it became part of the name. And if you look for American Pitbull Terrier, you put Pitbull, you're going to find him before you find the breed. And whose fault is that? It's the fault of all those breeders that didn't have the right blueprint to preserve the American Pitbull Terrier. Today, the real American Pitbull Terrier is completely destroyed. Dogs like this, they were real American Pitbull Terriers of the era. And dogs like these were real American Pitbull Terriers of the era. Those dogs today are not the dogs of the real American Pitbull Terrier. The real American Pitbull Terrier, very brand new breed, less than 300 years, finally is getting to a point where he actually has uniformity and consistency thanks to the work that I have done for the last 30 years. And he has all the same color, just like a German Shepherd. You see a German Shepherd, mother and father, same colors, black and tan, they have puppies, all the 10 puppies, all the 8, 6, 7 puppies, they all look the same. American Pitbull Terriers, the ones on the street, the ones on the neighborhoods, the ones by the breeders, you breed them and you have a piñata. All different colors. You never know what you're going to have. They athletic dogs, they're very powerful dogs. They are called the dogs of velvet and steel. Velvet because they are your pillow. Look at Chris Cyborg with her dog. Sleeps with the dog. These are great dogs. Look at Royce Gracie, the first guy that ever came to the UFC. He says, somebody asked him about me. If you're watching this video, he said, Kali is awesome. And he said, Chico knows what he's doing. Of course I know what I'm doing. I'm doing it with passion. It's my mission in life to teach people and to keep and preserve the real American Pitbull Terrier alive. I'm against breeding dogs. I'm against dog fighting. I'm against breeding. I want the greatest people to own the greatest dogs. And if you want to know about Compass, you want to learn more about the breed, you can call me and I give you a free consultation. I help you. You don't have to buy a dog from me. You can probably buy a dog from somebody else. But the information that I'll give you, it'll make you a better person.